What's up, everybody? Mike here, and welcome to the gaming news you maybe missed this week. Starting with Star Wars Outlaws getting a release date, a new story trailer, and I was checking out some of the feedback, and yeah, a lot of fans are upset at this, but just trying to report what they talked about in case you don't know what got revealed and all talked about. So, this is being developed by Massive Entertainment. Same people did Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. And the game itself is coming out August 30th for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the Amazon Luna Cloud gaming service. You can pre-order this today with the base game being $70. And then you got a gold edition that adds a season pass and a cosmetic pack, as well as a granting access to the game 3 days before its release. Once again, another game using the early release gimmick. If you spend extra money, I hate it, but it is what it is. Ubisoft is doing it with this game. And this version or edition of the game, the gold edition, is priced at $110. Then there's the Ultimate Edition, which adds the season pass, 2 cosmetic packs, and digital art book, and also provides early access to the game as well, starting from August 27th. And this costs $130. And this is where a lot of people are just upset at and pissed about is, not necessarily a $70 price point, even though I'm pretty sure some people are pissed about that, but these other editions and this early access crap, it's like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but they keep wanting to do it, and people are pissed, saying, don't pre-order it, don't spend your money on Ubisoft, this and that, and the third, and I don't blame them. I mean, let's be real, a lot of Ubisoft games go on sale pretty fast too, so, or you got the Ubisoft Plus, you can pay, I think, what, 15 or 18 bucks for the month and play it that way if you don't want to spend the full price on this. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I want this to be good, but I don't know, man. When it comes to the details of the story, though, the events of Star Wars Outlaws is set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The trailer exposes how criminal syndicates seek to take advantage of the fact that the Empire is distracted, fighting the Rebel Alliance to become richer. Kate Vess will have to steal the fortune of the Zarek Besh criminal family to buy her freedom, but it won't be easy. As the young woman betrayed Slidro, the boss of that mafia clan, and her head now has a price on it. The new trailer for the game doesn't skimp on references to Star Wars characters, ships, and scenarios, featuring Jabba the Hutt, Han Solo, Frozen, and Carbonite, and a Star Destroyer, among others. This also marks Star Wars Outlaws as the first major game in the franchise that has not been developed by any other studios belonging to EA. So this release will be a crucial test for Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment, who will have to prove they're up to the task. And already with them getting flack for the gold and ultimate editions, I don't know, it's not a good sign to me, guys. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this. Next up, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth confirms fix for Platinum Trophy bug. So in case you missed this happened earlier this week where there was an update released for the game, update 1.030. which fixes a serious bug that made it impossible to obtain a Platinum Trophy due to an error in progression. So for those that didn't know or were wondering about this, it's a late game side quest, I believe, called Can't Stop, Won't Stop, that you could not fully complete due to the previous patch or update that messed things up and caused this bug. And this latest patch fixes that. The side quest is available in Chapter 12 at the Gold Saucer and can now be completed after completing all tasks and playing all Gold Saucer minigames after reaching Chapter 12. I'm personally glad this fixes the issue because I even tried it myself before the update even happened to see what parts of the side quest I could do, what I couldn't. And basically, I was able to do about half or most of the side quests until the G-Bike. It was basically wasn't counting the G-Bike minigame for this side quest. So that's been fixed. If you were trying to do this, you gotta make sure you initially fulfill the G-Bike's clear conditions before you take on the, new challenges with this side quest in regards to the G-Bike part of it. Okay, and here we have some very fantastic news for Darkest Dungeon 2 as the devs present Kingdoms, a new free game mode. So Red Hook Studios released a new trailer for Darkest Dungeon 2, the 2.5D turn-based action game for PC. The video also features a brief preview of the new Kingdom mode, which will be available for free. And if you don't know about this game, Darkest Dungeon 2 is a roguelike adventure with elements of Western RPG, also featuring a dark aesthetic and currently standing out as one of the notable indie RPGs in the genre. Red Hook's new content always translates into hours of quality entertainment, Kingdoms, according to its developers, will force us to race against the clock to eliminate a series of monsters before they destroy the kingdom, which is made up of a network of safe ends. So almost kind of like a gauntlet mode. Kingdoms mode will be played separately from the original and will be available through a free update to be released on a date yet to be determined in 2024. During the game, resources will be collected, which allow for the improvement of heroes and ends on a skill tree. As for battles, the inclusion of 3 new factions is confirmed: the Coven, the Beastmen, and the Crimson Courtiers. Next, there is an interesting update about Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Apparently, it's still underway. So Ubisoft Montreal has reportedly rebuilt Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake from scratch, and it'll be showcased soon. I remember this game got first announced, like, I think over 3 years ago at this point, and we haven't heard nothing until literally now, apparently. And honestly, me and probably a lot of other people like y'all thought this game was essentially canceled, lost, whatever. It's just not going to come out. But following the torrent of criticism the game received when it was announced due to its graphical presentation, Ubisoft has provided new details that bring reassurance regarding the development of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. According to various sources, a realistic approach has been adopted for the new version of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, with significant graphical improvements, new animations, and new combat and parkour mechanics, along with other changes. Additionally, the script has been modified and all motion capture work has been redone. Apparently, another change that has been made is the absence of Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of the prince in the original game. You might know him also for being Peter Parker in Marvel Spider-Man 1 and 2 and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it appears he will no longer be involved in the project, although the reason is unknown. So to reiterate, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake will be nothing like the images shown initially. The game is being built from scratch. It will feature a complete graphical overhaul. It will have a more realistic approach. The game will feature new animations and combat mechanics. Parkour will be present. Yuri Lowenthal, who was the original voice of the protagonist, will no longer be present in this installment. I imagine Ubisoft could or will provide updates on this game very soon, maybe later this summer with Summer Games Fest, or if they do their Ubisoft Forward event. Now for some very cool news for you guys that are Remnant 2 fans. Remnant 2 announces a new DLC called The Forgotten Kingdom. The developer Gunfire Games recently released an announcement trailer for this, and the DLC will arrive on April 23rd. The Forgotten Kingdom will allow us to explore the ruins of an ancient civilization to learn the story of a lost tribe from the Yaisha biome in a completely new story. Additionally, this expansion will add a new class for playable characters called the Invoker, about which the studio promised more details next week, although they did mention that it will use the mystical power of the jungle. As expected, the Forgotten Kingdom will also bring new weapons and items such as amulets and rings, as well as new enemies and bosses to defeat. This is the second DLC for Remnant 2, following the release of The Awakened King in November of last year. The studio promised that the remaining 2 expansions will be released in 2024, so the third DLC could arrive near the end of the year. Last things to note here about this, so features for The Forgotten Kingdom include new storyline, dungeons and area based in the world of Yaisha, new archetype, the Invoker, as I mentioned, many items and powerful weapons that enhance gameplay, new bosses, characters, and fearsome creatures to encounter. Forgotten Kingdom DLC will be available for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on April 23rd for a price of $10. Then there is Destiny 2 news here, guys, about the final shape, introducing a new enemy faction, subclass, and more. Destiny 2 has faced some challenges lately, but Bungie is actively working to get things back on track and lead the story towards its most crucial moment in a few months. The final shape, a highly anticipated release, will take place, bringing with it legendary battles and exciting new content. In the meantime, the studio has revealed some details about what we can expect in the future. During a live stream by the studio, the developers presented news both about the enemies and the playable characters that will be added to the game with this new expansion. Regarding the villains, the final shape will introduce the first new enemy faction to arrive in Destiny since 2018, called the Dread. This faction will include flying enemies with weapons, agile enemies specializing in melee combat, and others who will use powers that limit the player's movement from a distance. Grim, a highly mobile flying enemy that slows and suppresses a guardian's abilities if they get too close. Husk, an acrobatic melee bruiser that sends a deployable Geist enemy towards you unless you hit their weak spot with a final blow. Attendant and Weaver, by wielding Stasis and Strand, respectively. These units can instantly change the flow of the encounter and force guardians to pay attention to their positioning on the battlefield. Players will be able to equip an exotic class item, meaning Hunter's Cloaks, Titan's Marks, and Warlock's Bonds will have exotic level perks for the first time. These perks will be randomized, taking 2 features from existing exotic class items to enhance the Guardian's ability to customize their gameplay. As the name suggests, the final shape will be the conclusion of Destiny's current narrative, which involves conflicts between the forces of light and darkness since the original game's launch almost 10 years ago. However, the studio specified that this does not represent the end of Destiny. Next up, we got some news from Atlus unveiling a new trailer and details for Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Atlus, in the latest preview they shared, delve into the new narrative paths, character roster, demons, and gameplay system. Completely updated with impressive visual effects from modern consoles, the dark mythology, unsettling atmosphere, and beautiful yet monstrous demons are back, and better than ever. Greatly expanded with new areas, demons, and music. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance presents more accessible gameplay, an enhanced combat system, new demon experiences, and broader terrain exploration. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance consists of 2 independent storylines. Experience a completely new route, the Canon of Vengeance, a dramatic saga of settling scores by the Fallen, centered on new characters and a cohort of demons who weave their dark designs on the sidelines of the war between the defenders of order and those who seek to challenge it. Or explore the original story told in Shin Megami Tensei 5, the Canon of Creation, an eternal conflict between angels and demons in which the protagonist fights for the fate of the world. When the eerie scene of a murder in present day Tokyo blocks our protagonist's way home, an unexpected detour ends up leaving him buried and unconscious. He wakes up in a wasteland ravaged by the apocalypse that was once Tokyo, now called Dayat. But before the bloodthirsty demons that populate it can end his life, a savior appears and they both join forces to become a powerful being, neither human nor demon, a Nahobino. With his newly discovered power, the protagonist ventures through the world full of mythological deities and demonic tyrants locked in constant conflict for survival. In search for answers, he must forge his own path and battle between angels and demons to determine the fate of the world. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance arrives on June 14th, 2024, and is available for pre-order for Nintendo Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows, and Steam. And lastly, I'm going to end on with a very positive high note here. For you Fallout fans here, Fallout 4 current gen update release date revealed. So originally this was announced, I think, way back in 2022 that they were going to do like a free upgrade for the PS5 and Xbox Series X for the game. And now they talked about releasing this by April 25th. There'll be a big patch update that'll essentially get it up to snuff. And if you look here at the tweet by Bethesda Game Studios, it says here, return to the Commonwealth April 25th. Learn more about the Fallout 4 next-gen update coming to console and PC, and additional free content for players in the Wasteland. The post also details a lot of content that's going to be included with the patch. For starters, the update adds native versions for Fallout 4 on both PS5 and Xbox Series, alongside performance mode and quality mode settings. The update also adds stability improvements and a variety of fixes for the game, although what specifically isn't mentioned. Fallout 4 players on PS4 and Xbox One will also receive a free update with those same stability improvements, as well as some fixes for logins and quests. PC players aren't being left out of the fun either, as a new update is coming for the game that adds widescreen and ultra widescreen support, as well as fixes to Creation Kit. Finally, the blog post also details some of the new Creation Club content that is being added to the game, such as a new set of Enclave missions that have unique gear, a makeshift weapons pack, and a Halloween workshop. So it looks like they're adding a lot more life to Fallout 4, and it's not over yet. And honestly, this makes sense because we just had the Fallout TV show just released. I personally just watched all of that. Overall, very good show. I would say probably rated, between like a 7 and an 8, definitely has its flaws, some issues with it. Don't get me wrong. But for me personally, that's where it stands. And it's my second favorite overall video game adaptation TV show, with Last of Us still being number 1 for me. But let me know your thoughts on this, guys. What do you think? Have you watched the Fallout TV show lately? Has it gotten you back into wanting to play Fallout games in general? Or if you've never played the Fallout games at all and checked out the show, Let me know your thoughts. Love to hear from you. My name's Mike. Thanks for watching.